7,375 pounds of family camping fun, a White Hawk 29BH landing here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. And did you know that White Hawks, like Eagles, North Points, and Pinnacles, are also now 0 degree, tested, and proven? So that is a huge quality that immediately separates it from so many other laminated trailers out there. Then include things like the best-in-class 2+ 3 year warranty and Goodyear tires, and you've got something that really, there's qualities here no other trailer is matching, outside of other Jaycos at least. And it's funny, I like this one the first time I saw it because it took the same kind of concept everybody else was building and it flipped it on its head. By flipping the entertainment center and the dining here, by changing the living room and the kitchen, as it were, even though it's one shared room, it makes more sense to me. Because if somebody is chilling out over there in that cool little, wall-hugging cinema seat, soaking up some, toe-warming fireplace or enjoying the entertainment center, everybody else doesn't walk back and forth past them to get to the bathroom, to the kitchen, to the fridge, to everything. So it's a more of a comfortable, flowing floor plan to me. And a quick little interruption here. There's so many different ways you can set this RV up. Like I said, I've never recorded it the same way twice. But they're including these neat little kind of swing out dining utility work stands. And it's really cool how they work. They actually just slot right into the cup holder on the armrest. Now these are heat massage recliners, by the way. And you can pop them out if you don't want them there. They can just stow right below the bed. They're the same sealed edge material that you find on the dining table. And you don't have to like hook them and unhook them to stand up. You can just swing them in, swing them out whenever you want them. But it is a handy option where, like, if you got all the kids gathered around the table and you're trying to grab a bite to eat, if we're all watching Shrek or something, I don't know about you, but somebody once told me the world was going to roll me, but I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. And that's probably why I had to keep interrupting my footage like this. Back to your regular scheduled programming. Now you've got windows all around that big super slide. They all open for airflow, and you can obviously see the big blackout shades here. This year they've also shifted to go to a similar blackout shade on that ceiling skylight. And I tell you, man, it's really blocking the sun out. But thankfully, the lighting package in this White Hawk is also doing one heck of a job for us. Now, you may have noted they've gone to a carpetless slide system here like North Point and Pinnacle and Eagle and all the other 0 degree rated brands that you have at Jayco. J-Feather does the same thing as well, with the White Hawk basically being the J-Feather Plus, if that makes any sense to you. Sometimes people go, what are the differences between the two? Everything that's on a J-Feather is here, and then add some. I like the accent lights below the dinette. When you're hooked up to 110 power, like park power basically, not battery power like I'm on right now, you also have an accent light below that wall-hugging theater seat. It is a manual recline though. Now there's also little things like there's switches on the slide sidewalls to activate any overhead light within the slide. Just nice little touches like that. Now, I use like a linear lens. I don't use fisheye lenses. So this does have a vaulted roof. It's not kind of being presented to you in Decepto fashion. Also up top here, we've got that larger 15,000 BTU air conditioner keeping us a little bit cooler here. The entertainment center is on an easy viewing angle. It just kind of really floods the living room with awesome visibility, and just its location, it doesn't really need to pivot around. It's fixed mounted. You could put a swing arm mount on it if you wanted to, but I don't know, guys. I just don't really think you need to. Now, how do I want to do this? It's funny because I've recorded this model several different ways, and I've never gone about it the same way twice. Let's go ahead and start looking, since we're in the living room area. Let's go ahead and open all our kitchen cabinetry while we're standing here. You can see they've given us some drawers down to the floors there. They're all plywood extension. And again, we have that little countertop extension. It's not massive, but they put what they could in there. And hey, anything that gives me a little more space, I'm happy with. This is all sealed edge press membrane thermal foil countertop, by the way. Stainless double sink inset below the Swan Lake sprayer faucet there. And this is all pocket screwed cabinetry, which is a handy, nice feature. Something that's, built for long-term use and ownership. Exact same cabinetry construction, basically, as a North Point fifth wheel from Jayco that carries a 2+ 3 year full-time RV warranty. Over here, we see our command center. And what I like about this is you don't have to just use this little touch panel. There's still just switches for like all of our living room lights. But if you want to, oh, that looks, Isn't there something so much fun about peeling that off there? It was just bugging me on the camera today. But if you want to, you can, control all that stuff right from here as well, like awning motors, heating, cooling, all kinds of stuff. But you can also just activate, deactivate our lights right off this little panel as well. There's a lot of different things that BM Pro system can do for us. But back to the kitchen and the storage. I love this countertop to cabinet bottom backsplash wall over here. That is a venting kitchen breeze window above that pop-up power tower for easy reach appliance outlets. Because have you noticed, is it me? Are appliances coming with shorter cords, or like what is the deal there? Now over here we see that optional 12 volt 10.7 cubic foot compressor refrigerator that has just become so common. It gives us more cold storage. It cools roughly 4 times faster according to Jayco's testing. That's not my number, that's theirs. It is a awesome feature. Now next to that you can see that we have ourselves a great floor-to-ceiling pantry space, which is something a lot of models like this will tend to miss. I'll give Coachman some credit. Their Freedom Expresses are very good about maintaining them as well. But right here, the trick with cameras is they try to white balance stuff. And when we're looking at this right here, you can see this is not black cabinetry. It's just a rich brown. And it's a nice accent. It helps kind of define the living room and the entertainment center separate from one another. Electric space heating fireplace there below the entertainment center. Now, it's a funny place for a shoe garage in this model since it's away from the door, but it's a thing. It's better than wasting space potentially. Still including a DVD unit in our Bluetooth stereo in the Jaycos, which is a nice little thing. On our way up, easy viewing entertainment center. I mean, we've already looked at that. You can see it from any direction with just an extra pocket of storage above. There's just not much they've really wasted or, let go to chance here. Oh, you know what? Something else I forgot. There's storage below the dinette, and then like yet another pantry kind of thing over here. Let's get those open. Now this could obviously be second pantry, linens. It could be dresser clothing space for the kiddos since it's next to the bunks. I mean, it's very flexible. Not to mention you still have the space down here below that dinette like I mentioned. They just, they utilize every nook and cranny. Now, I'm curious to see, what do people think about this dinette leg right here? I think some people are going to like it, some people don't. I like the fact that it's less of a knee knocker for a big guy like me. I also love the fact that it really draws attention to and opens up the space below the dinette and that carpetless slide system that you're finding in the White Hawks now. I think it gives it a really neat, clean look. And also, it has kind of like a simulated live edge to it, which just the little cutesy decor details like that, those are things I've always, I don't know, I'm a sucker for stuff like that, guys. So I think we've got our living area pretty much cooked at this point. Let's head up front here through that privacy door. Now, something I wanted to point out, it is obviously a sliding pocket privacy door, but Jayco does include a handy little positive latch system right here. So if you want to make sure that somebody can't just slide that door open without your knowledge, consent, attention, whatever, you're good to go. White Hawks are a 60 by 80 True Queen standard. They do have a king option. It will shave away your side stands and you will lose some walk around space. And I really didn't know what the correct way to go there was, and I would really appreciate some help from you, our viewers. You're the best source of information I've ever seen in my life. What do you guys think? Stick with the 60 by 80 True Queen bed where you can walk around it, or do you go with a 70 by 80 king bed and lose some side stand storage and do a butt scoop boogie around it? I've got king bed options here in things like Cougars and Eagle HTs with similar layouts to this. I kind of like the difference, but I know a lot of people like a king bed. So like I said, I'd be really curious to know what you folks think. Now our side stands in here, just like in the living room, have a sealed edge countertop, and just like that dining table have that simulated live edge. Notice too that all of the windows are fully framed out, and where I think that's really important is in models like this with pleated blinds, because it gives those anchors something to actually bite into. And I've noticed models that have those pleated blinds we don't seem to have blind problems with. Amazing how that works. Now, this is one of the most interestingly CPAP friendly campers I've seen. There's more outlets in here than meets the eye. So when you look down here, they have household and USB plugs, and they put them right there because I think that's where people shopping think to look for them. And by the way, that is a removable shelf inside that hanging closet. But, ladies and gentlemen, you see those little side pockets over there and one over there. If we kind of zero in and peek up to those a little bit more closely, you can see a little reading nightlight back there, but there's also a household outlet back there as well. It is a perfect little phone charge and CPAP nightstand, which leaves these front face outlets open for things like fans or additional lights. Now, speaking of lights, if we look above the bed, you look on the left, you see double up blue, blue, and then you look on the right, you just see a bright white. Well, it's a 3-way lamp, and it's very simple. It's just a little touch button. So if you tap it once, you get the backlight. Tap it a second time, we get a blue reading light. Tap it a third time, we get the bright light. Tap it again, we shut her off. So it can do a little bit of whatever you want. Now, a neat thing on this shade, it's something I can't easily show you, folks. They have a handy little draw to pull that down, and it's in a track, so it's not going to constantly be bumping you against the head. But the back side of that has a radiant barrier, because this is a front windshield model. And instead of the sunshine coming through and baking you to death, what you can do is you can leave it pulled down with that radiant barrier to help keep the sunshine out of this thing. Or you could just raise the shade up, as it were, whatever works for you. Cute little bedding ensemble they have in here. It's hard for me to say ensemble and not say it stupidly like ensemble or something like that. I know it's not how you say it. It's just, like I said, it's hard for me to not say it stupidly because I say stupid things. Anyway. Now, that direct entry door there to the bedroom, remember that you could easily deadbolt that. It's there for fire code. It has to be there in this model. This is big enough that it pretty much has to. And if not, if I'm wrong about that, I'm sorry. I believe it's there for fire code, I should say, not has to be. But you can, again, deadbolt it off, keep the people from coming in and out. But it does give you, again, travel access that we'll see in a few minutes, as well as quick in and out access to things like that. Huge bonus storage closet, dresser, vanity, combo space that we have in this thing. That is absolutely awesome, all that extra storage space in this bedroom. And it all closes up behind the door. It's easy to miss. It's easy to, not appreciate it. It's handy that they have all that there. Up top, we've got ourselves a space where if you wanted to put a solar package on this RV, you can. I keep saying solar system, and the funny thing about the Jayco solar system is it's out of this world, as I do believe. Anyway, you get the idea. There's a plug on the roof for a roof solar panel. You can mount a charge controller here if you are so inclined. That's stuff that you can get from the factory. Those are also things that we can assist you with here at Haylett RV. We can basically custom build you a solar package system, whatever, to meet whatever needs, restrictions, desires you have. That's the cool thing about solar, is it's kind of like a blank canvas. What am I forgetting here? I feel like I'm forgetting. Oh, the sleeping here. So starting over here with this theater seat, if we kick those out and fold that down, those would be good for a daytime nap. But over here, that big 7-foot long dinette, that would be an excellent bonus sleeping space if you do have a guest or a big kid. Then again, this is a dedicated bunkhouse model. You're probably not going to need to do that a whole heck of a lot. Jayco's bunks are always rated for as much as or more than anyone else out there. They are always rated for 300 pounds per sleeping space. This is a double bunk. Double that number up, we have a 600-pound rated bed here. That's pretty cool. And that little, even the bunk has a little corner stand with household and USB plugs. Handy stuff like that. That'll be your rainy day sanity space when you got that angsty teenager. My daughter's 10, but she's ahead of her time, and I keep hearing, "Oh, buddy, just wait, it's coming." I believe it. I love her to death, but I believe that we're hitting that point in the roller coaster where the attitude starts to go like this. But I love my kid. I wouldn't give her up for the world. She's the best thing in my life. Individual curtains for the top and lower bunks. That is an easily underrated feature so that you don't have the kids fighting over which one has the shade drawn or whatnot. You can see the bottom bunk obviously folds up out of the way, latches in place, gives us some cargo capacity. Cool thing, Jayco actually includes some handy little cargo hooks down here as well. I've seen some people with like folding e-bikes using that little corner space, which I think is a really smart way to utilize all that. Or totes or small dog kennels, all kinds of different purposes. The ladder wall keeps the RV looking bigger, more open, but it's actually structural. It's helping support the upper bed. It's very cool that way. And Jayco builds their own. They use a little bit wider plank, so this is much more barefoot friendly for the littles as they're bopping up and down. Now, just before we hop into the bathroom, I want to show you something here. This kind of came into J-Feather a little bit last year and was a huge, huge hit. And why wouldn't it be? The larger fan here in the living room to help bring in just, push extra air out of this thing. If it is a hot day, you want to force in some extra airflow on the windows. And this is a really important feature because Whitehawks are using frameless windows on the slide sidewalls. The big panoramic windows are frameless. They maybe don't get as much airflow, but you can overcome that with the use of this big fan right here. And because they're keeping it out here, they allow a separate bathroom fan for just the bathroom in here with no gaps. I know some people don't like those gaps for the bathroom. Jayco's is not gap-tastic with their bathroom doors, as it were. My battery is about to die. I better pick the pace up here. Sorry, I yak a lot. Backlighting around, behind, above, below the mirror here, and I love how that's a big corner angle mount. And open there. There you go. It's a Magnum holdback. That is deceptively deep, too. Like, you can actually get a blow dryer and stuff in there if need be. Super heavy-duty magnet. It does not want to just pop open. And that is a large adult-size sink for big old hands as well. Not that I have big hands. I don't know why I stuck my hand out there. I actually have tiny hands and little lady fingers, but I'm a keyboard guy. I'm not a hammer and wrench kind of guy. With just different people with different purposes in this here world. Sealed edge counters all the way through. You could roll up almost military burrito style, throw some towels in there if need be. Porcelain foot flush stool on a bit of an angle to give you plenty of room. And if you're noticing here, this shower, it's mounted on the inside wall of the bathroom. It's a very interesting choice because what it does is it keeps the towel hangers back out of the way, which makes sense. They're out of... Crap, wasn't joking. Told you the battery's getting low. Anyway, I think I was talking about the Drunken Octopus towel hangers back here. You have a dedicated towel bar, but the shower on this is interesting. You don't usually see showers mounted on the interior wall of a camper like this. But remember, this is a vaulted ceiling. With that ceiling being vaulted and the shower on the inside of the vault and the skylight, it leaves so much headroom in this shower. It's not even funny. It's one of the most comfortable showers I've been able to stand in a travel trailer. And then, of course, over here, handy little shelf for extra toiletries and whatnot. More towel hangers. I mean, there's more places to hang towels in here than there is in my bathroom at home. I'm going to get the slides closed and get you some slide close footage, but something I forgot to mention previously. I think this is a really good case for that extra door in the bedroom. I know that not everybody is all pumped about that. And if you're not, that's fine. You don't have to buy this RV from Haylett RV. We have floor plans like this from so many different brands. We have something else that would definitely work for you. But when you put the kids to bed at night, hear me out here. If you're coming in and out of that door, you're making some racket. You know, you're making some noise. You might wake those kids up, and that's not always a really good thing. If those kids don't sleep well, if they're grouchy tomorrow, everybody pays for it, not just the kiddo. So it's good for them to get that rest, but frankly, it's good for your own peace of mind, because the whole point of camping is a little bit of rest and relaxation. And that's where I like this bedroom door over here. I can tuck the kids away. I can enjoy, you know, a snack or some drinks outside via that mini fridge, and I can come and go via this exit and re-entry door over here, which sounds like I'm talking about this thing like a spaceship coming in re-entry, but, you know, when you see it from the outside, White Hawks look like a spaceship, but I can come and go as I please. I can do so without disturbing the kids, and I think that's a really important feature to mention on one of these. Now, with the bunks being right by the door, of course, they're travel accessible. Similarly, right next door is the bathroom. There's absolutely no issues with being able to get into and out of there at a travel stop. What's also nice is as we work our way around here, the way that the dinette and the kitchen kind of interact with one another leaves plenty of room here to pass through, thanks to that countertop extension. It is nice that is something that they've really done a good job of thinking about here, because they could have just made that dinette extra deep, but it would have pinched everything off, and I appreciate that they had the presence of mind to think about that. So if you need to get through here, get to the pantry, get to the fridge, get to just about anything, I don't think there's much of anything you can't access here with the slide closed. Now, it's not as obvious. You're looking and say, yeah, but I can't walk, to the bedroom. Thankfully, our second door here into the bedroom solves that little challenge for us. Does it mean you have to go out and around? Yes, it does. Is that ideal for every single person? No, of course not. But the fact is, if you do need to get to anything and everything in the camper, whether it's at a travel stop, whether it's in transit, doesn't matter what the case is, you have full access to everything in this camper without touching a slide. Phasing down through that bed deck into the front pass-through compartment, which is quite large, by the way. I'm practically crawled in here right now. Looking on the other side, you can actually see a handy battery disconnect switch, so you can make sure that the RV doesn't trickle drain your battery to death when it's not in use. Now, you can see how that kind of farmhouse accent will actually persist all the way down the front, which makes the pass-through actually look kind of cool. I don't believe that was their intention, but I like it. The outlets over here, handy for whatever little outdoor campsite activity you might have. And little things like this. The little, you know, pressure checker on the, you know, why do I not know the name of this? Just tire pressure checker? Is that really what that's called? Somebody help me out here because I'm having a total brain fade meltdown. I really need to go get caffeinated. Anyway, Jayco includes these so you can make sure your tires are at the proper inflation level before you leave, which is great. Now that switch right there activates the accent lights on the nose, but take a look at this. White Hawk including a handy outdoor picnic table, and with the magic of cameras, check this out. Ah, we can actually see it set up for just a moment right here. It's a 2 foot by 4 foot outdoor picnic table. Has a resin top on it basically and metal folding legs, so if it gets left out in the rain, no big deal. It's not going to hurt anything. Now we've got some wicked backlighting coming in from the sun. Unfortunately, the way that our lot is positioned, I have to struggle with that quite a bit. I appreciate you folks understanding along the way, but it doesn't change the fact that this thing looks like a spaceship. Oh my gosh. White Hawks, when they went to this nose cap, it immediately changed them. It was always it was a good line, it was an okay line, and it has become such a great series of trailers. And if you're kind of curious, like, where does it fall into the Jayco lineup? It's basically the step between a Feather and a Eagle HT. It's like a super J Feather is, I think, the best way I can describe it. Call this a J Feather Plus, if you will. J Feather Elite, whatever you want to call it. Up front here, couple little variances from some brands. They are including the power tongue jack. That's become more and more common. It is shocking to me how many laminated trailers are still out there with no power jack. Standard feature on your Jaycos. Simple side mount solar prep plug, can't talk, but this has had a roof solar plug on it. White Hawks have been roof solar prep for like 2 or 3 seasons. And it's funny how that's become such a big deal, and White Hawk's been doing it for a long time. Now, very similar to their J-Flight non-laminated sisters or brothers or whatever at the Jayco series, or something, say, like a Rockwood, you got the larger 30-pound propane tanks in a class very heavily dominated by 20-pound tanks. That extra 50% capacity, very handy thing, especially if you're going to be chugging that furnace to achieve that 0-degree capability. Magnet holdbacks on the baggage doors. You see sealed hinges on the baggage doors to keep the weather out. Metallic slam latches, and something else that's very cool. These are not just backup camera ready, but like a lot of your more, I call it like Ultralite Plus or Premium series, also side camera ready this year, which is a very neat thing. Now this is equipped with the J-Smart lighting system. So if you flip on your left-hand turn signal, this light will blink with it, but there's a separate wire run for the camera. So this turn signal will not affect the use and function of that camera. Now, I mentioned this when the video first began, and actually I think I mentioned it just a few seconds ago. White Hawks are now part of the official Climate Shield family of Jayco RVs, including like Eagles, Talons, North Point, Seismic, Pinnacle, 0-degree proven, tested, hot, cold, camp rated kind of jobs. In a laminated, lighter weight segment like this, that is a hard find. It is achieved the same way that they do on all the rest of the Jaycos. It's enclosed, heated, insulated, and a radiant barrier, because insulation and radiant barrier are different things. Jayco is doing both here. Now they're also running on a little bit different chassis. You notice it's not an I-beam. It is a huck bolted frame. It's basically, I call it like an aircraft style chassis. It is lighter but stronger, and it's always been my experience that RVs built on that frame really seem to have some very good service records, and what we've seen out of White Hawks certainly supports that. I'm not gonna lie, I think they're taking a page out of Rockwood's book here. Instead of having to peel apart the back bench of the dinette, they've given us a door to access the rear bench storage space. And I think that's very cool. So you don't have to go disassembling the thing to get there. And even that has a magnet holdback. You see, the White Hawks are still running frameless windows. A lot of brands have gone with the sliding airflow windows. There's benefits both ways. They still have the sliding airflow windows on the slide sides. And you know, it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for the good looks or the better airflow? But you notice that Jayco's using tinted windows no matter what. And if you're spying the top of that super slide, you can see this is slide awning ready as well. And if you're looking just behind the super slide up top, there's actually a really cool kind of interesting looking outside sort of courtesy light, I guess you'd call it, for your dump station, because our water hookups, sewer hookups, all that stuff, all of our hookups are back in this rear corner. They have the water and the electrical stuff nicely separated, which I think will make a lot of people feel good. It's actually not a big deal, but it does make people feel better this way, which makes me feel better. I'm not saying people are crazy for it. I appreciate it too. Black tank flush, outside shower, stinky, slinky hookup station right down there with a stinky, slinky, capable rear bumper on this big bad boy. We talked about the J-Smart lighting system. We've talked about the side camera prep. She's rear camera ready. I'm obviously just doing a quick little rundown in my head, but I'm doing it out loud, so it's not really in my head, is it? Spare tire with that slip cover there. Now, the spare tire, just like all the tires, is the best-in-class Goodyear Endurance Radial. I think Rockwood's the only other mainstream manufacturer using Goodyears now, and they've only just adopted it. Jayco's been doing that for a few years. And guys, look at the awning. It's huge. It's huge. Look how much coverage that thing gives you. And it's like wide open, unobstructed. And I love the fact that it does encompass this camp kitchen over here below that lower bunk. And this is Jay Feather and Whitehawk. They have a very interesting camp kitchen, but I really like it because everything kind of wraps around you. You've got that screaming hot burning Capital grill. It's funny because for a couple seasons, everybody loved those things, and then Blackstones kind of became very common, but don't discredit these things, guys. The biggest problem that we've ever had with Capital grills is that they burn so hot that Jayco actually had to stop using wood in their outside countertops, and they had to go to this galvanized rolled steel material, which is awesome. Now, I also love the fact Jayco locks their cooker. It can't slide in or out, so if a kid bumps it, and you've got a pot of hot water or something up here, you're making, you know, like boiling corn on the cob or whatever, it can't slide shut, spill the pot on your kiddo, your dog, yourself, whatever. It's just a nice little safety thing, but it's easy to operate. Plus, you got the old Jaybird and Blazing Barley Popinator 37 series right there, brother, for the, you know, obviously the Barley Pop, as the name suggests, but that's what we got the mini fridge here for, too. It keeps the cold drinks outside, lets you keep your food inside, and really maximizes your cold storage. Now, that, in conjunction with the 12-volt compressor fridge we have inside, will give this thing close to 13 cubic foot of total cold storage, maybe just north of that by just a smidge. That's like fifth wheel storage here in a travel trailer that is capable of being towed by properly equipped half tons. Not every half ton, but properly equipped ones. We always want to put safety before the sale and double check here at Haylett's. Now, you've got lighting on both sides of this camp kitchen, and then above the fridge you have a little blue accent light like we saw in the bathroom, so if you want this thing to glow at night, you can. Switches for them over there, easy to access. Quick release kind of air hose style sink fixture right here, where if you want to, it takes two hands, and I'm not left-handed, so I'm not good at this, but if you wanted to pop that off and use like a coily sprayer hose all over your site, you can. You got your handy little, I call it the dog dish style, but little flip sink over here, handy for just quick little prep work. But you've also got this neat little cutting board thing here that has a little Legend of Zelda hidden storage space below. Every little nook and cranny has been used in a really fun, different, and creative way. And I think that's why I like Whitehawks. They're not just the same thing I've seen 100 times. With the door being extra wide, by the way, they are able to go with a larger MORryde stable step system, and they are using a friction hinge entry door, which my kid loves to just slam the car door. I don't think she realizes she's doing it, and I used to do it, and it drove my parents crazy, so now my kid's driving me crazy with it. That's the circle of life, Simba, but you get the idea. It just doesn't slam shut even when they fling it. Also, not just Goodyear Endurance radials, not just Dexter Easy Lube axles, but wide stance stability axles right here, which really helps you cheat the wheelbase. With, you know, this RV, it's a little bit longer than some, not quite as long as others, but it's long enough that in addition to a proper weight distribution and anti-sway system, you will really appreciate the way that this helps control the porpoising, the bounce, and the wiggling in transit. Wide stance axle systems, guys, are a very inexpensive and insanely effective way to really enhance your towing experience. And right before we head upstairs, something I do want to take a quick look at right here, you also do have outside TV hookups, just in case you're curious. Now, you notice over here, these are not MORryde steps. A lot of brands put them on the main location, but not the secondary entrance doors. They're still nice, no flex aluminum plank steps. But if you wanted some more rides there instead, you give us a call here at Haylett RV at our parts and service department right in that door over there. We can get you all hooked up before you even tow away. Now, just like that full-time RV rated North Point by Jayco right beside us, we've got ourselves that plywood decked Magnum truss roof system over here on this White Hawk with the double vaulted roof trusses, rated for more weight than anybody else in this class. I think that's pretty cool. You can see they are super heavy-handed on their sealants on Jaycos. That's something I've always liked about them. They've never, you know, this is an area where a lot of RV brands they'll scale back a little bit and never spend more than they have to because the average consumer doesn't see it. But I don't know, man. I've always felt like you're buying the whole thing. Don't you want to see the whole thing? And that's why I climb on all these roofs. It's not because I think it's fun. Frankly, it's kind of dangerous and kind of stupid to do it as often as I do, but I go slow and I move carefully to make sure that I stay safe, and I recommend you do the same. So like I mentioned, roof solar prep, that's what the little black plug is there. Jayco does have a factory solar package if you are so inclined. But over here at our shop, kind of like we could add those more ride steps, we could basically custom build you the solar package to fit your specific wants and needs. Because that's a trick with solar. It's not one size fits all. It's what size fits you. To really do it right, we got to sit down, we got to have a cup of coffee or whatever, and get to know you, and then we're good to go. Actually, I think we're good to go up here, other than the fact that I do want to make a quick mention of the fact all of these fixtures up here are white. That will help keep sunshine out of the RV. Also, it's not that it's necessarily a deal breaker, and it can easily be made up for, but I prefer to see white shrouds on air conditioning units, because if the air conditioner is soaking up more heat, it's organically working less efficiently. So this will help the air conditioner work really, really well. The 15,000 BTU air that we have on this is going to do you one heck of a good job. Now, you might see a couple footprints on here from me walking around, and our quality control guy before me. If you're a tracker, you can actually see two distinct different sets of shoes up here. But the good news, you won't see those when you take the RV home. Because one of the things, of the many things that we do for you at Haylett RV at no additional charge, is we clean the RV. Top to bottom, inside and out, upside down, and in between. We show you how it works. You know, we include propane and battery and water and electric surge guards. None of that comes at any additional cost to you folks. We just try to take care of you. So take care, stay safe, have fun. Happy camping, everyone. We hope to see you soon.